everyone, it's Iris here. Happy Thursday. I know it's been a long week, but hang in there, it's almost the weekend. Today's video is about panic attacks, how you distinguish between panic attacks and asthma, and how to overcome panic when you're experiencing a panic attack. So before we begin, I want to share my personal story about having a panic attack. I've only had one panic attack in my entire life, but I can tell you it was one of the scariest things I've ever encountered. It happened in the middle of the night and I was out on the street by myself. I literally thought I was going to die, no joke. My heart was pounding so fast and I was hyperventilating, feeling like I was being choked by someone. I also felt like I was losing control and all I could think about was how anxious I was and how alone I felt. I felt so detached from myself and my surroundings, basically I couldn't think straight. The panic attack lasted for about 20 minutes, I would say. I've never felt that way before and I was freaking out. I've heard of other people having panic attacks before, but it wasn't until I had one that I really understood how panic attacks can really make you feel like you're dying. Sometimes it's difficult to distinguish between an asthma attack and a panic attack because they display similar symptoms. But the two are actually very different conditions and require separate considerations for management and treatment. For those of you who are confused about whether it's an asthma attack or a panic attack you've experienced, hopefully after this video, you get a better sense of which of the two you identify with. I want to start with asthma attacks first. Asthma is caused by underlying inflammation and constriction of your airways or bronchial tubes. Both inflammation and constriction can make it hard for you to breathe. And when you're having an asthma attack, symptoms can include wheezing, chest tightness, and coughing. Depending on the severity of your asthma attack, your symptoms could last from several minutes to hours, or even days. An asthma attack can be triggered by a lot of different factors. Some examples are allergens such as pollen, animal dander, and dust mites. Exercise, especially if it's more strenuous than what you're used to. Certain chemicals like cleaning products, smoke, or perfume, extreme heat or cold, stress and anxiety, and food allergies. It can be any of those things or a combination of them. Now let's talk about what panic attacks are like. A panic attack is an intense wave of fear characterized by its unexpectedness and debilitating, immobilizing intensity. But unlike coughing and wheezing associated with asthma, panic attacks can also cause dizziness or lightheadedness, nausea, hyperventilation, sweating or chills, increased heart rate, chest pain, tingling hands and face, feelings of detachment from yourself and your surroundings, feeling like you're losing control, and fears of dying. To put it simply, you might feel like you're going crazy. Panic attacks often strike out of the blue without any warning, and sometimes with no clear trigger. They can occur while you're driving, shopping in the mall, or even when you're relaxed or asleep. A panic attack may be a one-time occurrence, although many people experience repeat episodes. Recurrent panic attacks are often triggered by a specific situation, such as speaking in public or playing a soccer tournament, especially if that situation has caused a panic attack before. Usually, the panic-inducing situation is one in which you feel endangered and unable to escape, triggering the body's fight or flight response. One of the worst things about panic attack is the intense fear that you have another one. You may fear having panic attacks so much that you avoid certain situations where they may occur. Some people may experience one or more panic attacks yet be otherwise perfectly happy and healthy. Or your panic attacks may occur as part of another disorder, such as panic disorder, social phobia, or depression. Regardless of the cause, panic attacks are treatable. There are strategies you can use to reduce or eliminate the symptoms of panic, regain your confidence, and take back control of your life. Now let's see what the similarities and differences between asthma and panic attacks are. Basically, the one similarity they share is that both can cause breathing difficulties and a tight feeling in the chest. But one key difference is that the constriction of your airways during an asthma attack can decrease oxygen flow, whereas hyperventilation during a panic attack can increase oxygen flow. With all the other symptoms that I listed out for you guys, panic attacks also go beyond just having breathing difficulties. Wheezing and coughing are also symptoms usually only associated with asthma attacks. Okay, now that we know what the differences are between the two, what the heck do you do when you have a panic attack? Well, there's actually a lot of things you can do to cope with an unexpected panic attack. Today I'm going to share 4 strategies you can use. Because you're likely to hyperventilate during a panic attack, the first suggestion that I have is to stop whatever you're doing when you feel one coming on, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. When you're having a panic attack, your brain creates these physiological symptoms because it thinks that you're in need of protection. Using your diaphragm to breathe will send signals to your brain that is not the case. I know I always talk about breathing as one of the coping skills we can use either to relieve anxiety, stress, or anger. But in this case, I promise you, getting back in control of your breathing can help you prevent the panic attack from intensifying or lasting longer. So next time you have a panic attack and you're breathing at an abnormally rapid rate, try closing your eyes and taking deeper breaths than usual. Breathe in for 3 seconds, hold the breath for 2 seconds, and then breathe out again for 3 seconds. It's kind of like tricking your brain into believing that you're in a relaxed state. The next tip number 2 that I have for you to help you feel better is to distract yourself from negative thoughts by shifting your focus from your panic attack onto your surroundings. Just like a lot of people, I get terrified of getting shots at the doctor's visit. So whenever I'm there about to get a shot, I usually look around the room and find one thing that I can focus on. Maybe it's the computer that's on the table. Maybe it's the picture that's hanging on the wall. Whatever it is, I concentrate on it and notice the color, texture, shape, and size. Similarly, during a panic attack, finding something to distract yourself can help you calm your mind and relieve you from your panic thoughts. The third strategy that I recommend for you is to try splashing cold water on your face. I know it sounds silly, but just hear me out. As I said, one of the hallmark symptoms of panic and anxiety is a racing heart rate. In order to calm someone down and lower their anxiety, their heart rate needs to lower. You might have heard of the sympathetic nervous system. It prepares your body for fight or flight response during any potential danger. So when your sympathetic nervous system is active, you want your parasympathetic nervous system to activate to counteract the anxiety. The parasympathetic nervous system inhibits the body from overworking and restores the body to a calm and relaxed state. Splashing the ice-cold water on your face will 1. Shock the system, which will divert your attention to something other than what's causing the anxiety. 2. It could also be considered a threat to the system, so the system itself will go into preservation or survival mode and lower the heart rate, which in turn reduces anxiety. Basically, it's a quick way to get your mental state back on track when you need it most. But what if you don't have any ice-cold water available close to where you are? Don't worry, I got you. This last and final tip, number 4, is where mindfulness comes in handy. Since panic attacks can cause a feeling of detachment or separation from reality, grounding yourself can combat your panic attack as it's approaching or actually happening. Okay, what does grounding yourself mean? This simply means focus on the physical sensations you're familiar with, like digging your feet into the ground or feeling the texture of your jeans on your hands. These specific sensations ground you firmly in reality and give you something objective to focus on. I hope that this was helpful in helping you identify the differences between an asthma attack and a panic attack. Although panic attacks can feel really scary and it may happen out of nowhere, there are things you can do to calm your mind and cope with your panic attack. If you liked this video, it would mean a lot to me if you give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to watch my future videos on mental health. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day.